I think that's probably one of the things that's lacking a little bit with Wales, isn't it? I mean, there's not. You've got a lot of good players that we obviously we know of John Bailey and people. You've got some of your lads who go and play in the Manchester League and travel down into tournaments, but you've not got anything in Wales, any big events that attract, the Wilsons and the Ellises of this world into Wales, do you? I mean, I travel around the country myself, as you know, playing in a lot of competitions, and last year I went to Conway for the pairs and Mitch Patterson competition, but prior to that it must have been 10 years since I last went to an event in Wales. Do you think that's something that just lets you down a little bit? It's good some of your players can afford to travel distances to try to improve the games. But wouldn't it be nice in Wales to see some big events there?
Yes, I must say we got a new organiser this year on the Colwyn Bay Festival week. That's been a lot of money being put back into that this year. So hopefully that'll grow in years to come.
Yeah.
And as I say, that's quite a good prize money this year. Over 5,000 being spent there in prize money this year, so that hopefully will be a start of more competitions.
Yeah. Colwyn's always been very popular, hasn't it?
It has been, but it has gone down the last few years, and as I say, there's a new organiser this year, and hopefully it's going to attract more bowlers to enter. Closing date's still not till the 9th of July, so I'm not sure how the entries are coming. But we have got, my father's memorial comp, which he passed away last September. I've added that one to it as well, which I was very grateful to Conway County Council for that, as they're doing all the entries and everything else, collecting the money. So that's a big job on its own. So hopefully that will attract 64 players as well.
Yeah. What I've always thought about at Wales is that it's a very big area, isn't it? From Wrexham straight across to sort of Anglesey and that. So it's geologically probably one of the biggest counties, isn't it?
Yes, it is. As I say, I travel nearly 50 miles today to get to Wrexham from Llandudno, and then it must be 40-50 miles to the other end of Holyhead, so it's a good 100-mile radius to cover.
With the British Crown Green have only got 15 counties. Has there been any thought that perhaps the Wales would ever split into two to give more players an opportunity at county bowl?
I think we need to, this has come up, as you know, on a few internet sites and everything else, but before we start thinking like that, I think we need to start showing as one county first before that sort of project can really start thinking about that.
Yeah, I understand what you mean, because again, you need two lots of finance and so on for two different counties. But I know that I was talking to someone quite recently when Lancashire split up a few years ago and split into North Lancs, Cumbria, Greater Manchester, Merseyside. Instead of 24 people from Lancashire playing county bowls, it suddenly became 96 and helped develop those players a lot more. I know Wales have improved dramatically the last few years, but again there, as you just said, you've done a 100-mile round trip to go to your merit today. There's an opportunity at some point. There's going to be a 16th county, no doubt, will be formed from somewhere. Wales does seem one of the obvious places, really. But that's for another day.
Okay.
Yeah, okay. Anyway, thank you for joining us, Grind. It's a pleasure to speak to you. I wish Wales all the best, as we do every other county, and I'm sure that group, Section 3, is really probably the most intriguing one for next week. And we wish you all the best.
Okay.
Okay, thanks for joining us again.
No problem. Thank you very much.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
Alan, you look at that Section 3, it really is close, isn't it?
Yeah, it is. Again, what you were just saying to Garrett about the Welsh team, some really, really good players, which again are just, we know quite a lot of these players because they play in the Shropshire Premier League for Ifton, but just all of a sudden get close to get out of their, win their group, and then maybe get to the semi-final, which they have done a couple of times over the last few years, and then really not gone any further. But again, you know, they've got some real quality players there, so you know, it's all to play for. I noticed one of them there, Anthony Bailey, who's just won the Welsh Merit, has obviously got Andy Spragg, so I'll try and see how good he is, because he's got a game on his hands there.
Yeah, well they are. I mean, Wales have done exceedingly well, haven't they? Over recent years. They
have, and that interesting what Goran just said about Betis and Ross, which was a green they took Shropshire on a few years ago and absolutely battered us on it. You know, there was all the arguments whether it should be allowed, whether it shouldn't. Well, obviously it is, but then interestingly, he's saying since it's been cleaned, it's taken a lot of pace off it, which obviously now they don't want to use. But when it did have pace when we went there. The only thing we noticed, it very, very restricts you on the green. You know, 3 or 4 yards to the edge all the way around you couldn't use. So it made your ends all about 25, 30, 35 yards long. Very, very difficult and very unnatural for a lot of people. It certainly was for me.
Although he said it's not going to be used, do you think maybe if they got to a semi-final or final?
Well, that's what I was waiting to come up then. But you jumped in there, Mel, and asked him, and he said obviously they're not using it. I was looking down and noticed that they hadn't used it, thinking exactly the same thing. Where they saving it for that? But obviously not.
No. Yeah, you never know. They might get the old Hoover out on the carpet if they get to a semi-final, won't they?
Yeah.